Hi everyone, and welcome to the TVnglish YouTube channel. We find interesting and practical phrases from TV shows and movies and explain what they mean and how you can use them in your everyday life. And then you can use the phrases with your friends, with your family members, or in an educational or business setting. So click subscribe at the bottom of the video so you don't miss any of our videos that we make. We're going to have hundreds and hundreds of phrases for you to practice. Okay, the next sentence is, we have one more thing we have to do, and then we'll be out of the woods. In this sentence, the key phrase is out of the woods. This phrase comes from fairy tales where characters go into the woods and get lost, and they're not safe or they're not finished their adventure until they leave the scary woods. So this phrase can mean we're not going to be safe until we're finished this task. We're not going to be finished until this task is over. There's a couple different ways this can go, but in this sentence, it's more of a business context. We have one more thing we have to do, and then we'll be finished our task. He is under the delusion that I am going to cheat him. In this sentence, the key phrase is under the delusion. A delusion is something you believe that isn't true. So when you're under the delusion, you're actively believing something that isn't true. This whole sentence together is, he is under the delusion that I am going to cheat him. So he believes that I'm going to cheat him, but I'm not really going to. All right, this phrase is, I didn't plan it, it just played out this way. So the key phrase here is, it just played out this way. And that means I didn't really do anything to make it happen. It just sort of ended up happening. An example of this would be, maybe you're planning a party and you think you've covered all of the bases and you're going to have such a good party. But then the food is cold and not that good, and maybe some people didn't come, and so it's a little disappointing and it's not as fun as it should be. And someone might say, hey, why is this party not that great? And you could say, I didn't plan it, it just played out this way. Prison guards looked the other way while the man was attacked by fellow prisoners. So in this sentence, the key phrase is looked the other way. Looked the other way means that these prison guards intentionally ignored what was happening. So they knew that that man was getting attacked, but they just decided, no, I don't really want to deal with that. I'm gonna look the other way and not pay attention to what's happening over here. All right, this sentence is pretty cool if I do say so myself. Financial issues were the final nail in the restaurant's coffin. So the phrase that we're looking at here is final nail in the coffin. The final nail in the coffin happens when there's been a lot of problems over a long period of time and things haven't been running smoothly. And then something big crops up, a big problem crops up, and it's just ruins everything. It was just the last problem to ruin the whole thing. So in this example, financial issues, maybe the restaurant had been struggling, it had been having a hard time, but then there were some financial issues that cropped up and it just ruined the restaurant. That was the final nail in the restaurant's coffin. Did she just disappear into thin air? The sentence is a little spooky. The key phrase in this sentence is disappear into thin air. Disappear into thin air means vanish, is totally gone, without any clues as to where they went or any signs as to where they might have gone. So did she just disappear into thin air means, did she just vanish? Did she just go and leaving no signs of where she may have gone? Spooky. His duplicity hurt her at the end. In this sentence, the key word is duplicity. Duplicity basically means lying, being dishonest, not being truthful to somebody. So the sentence, his duplicity hurt her in the end, just means his lying and dishonesty hurt her at the end. Next sentence, the park is the largest wildlife sanctuary in the US. So we're going to look at two words in this sentence, wildlife and sanctuary. A sanctuary is a safe space, a place where people or animals are being protected from outside harm. And wildlife are animals and plants. Anything that lives outside of a human home or city can be considered wildlife. So a wildlife sanctuary is somewhere where animals and plants are protected and their natural habitat is kept intact. Now she's giving you a taste of your own medicine. Giving you a taste of your own medicine means she is doing to you what you have been doing to her. So if you've been really rude to her, she's going to be rude back to you, giving you a taste of your own medicine. All right, this next sentence is, be careful. If this thing goes south, you don't want to be in the same zip code as him. So this sentence has two parts. The first part, if this thing goes south, means if this thing goes badly, if this thing goes down. And then the last part, you don't want to be in the same zip code as him, means you don't want to be associated with him. The zip code is the area that you live in, and the post office uses it to figure out where to send your letters. So if you're in the same zip code as someone, you're associated with them, you're related to them. So if you are related to that person, people might believe that you are responsible for the thing going badly. So the whole sentence, be careful, if this thing goes south, you don't want to be in the same zip code as him, means be careful. If this doesn't go well, you do not want to be associated with that guy. So this sentence is a little more educational. You can use it in a more formal environment. The sentence is, do not antagonize your customers. The word we're going to look at is antagonize. Antagonize means make somebody mad, provoke them, bug them into having a bad reaction. So if you want to give someone some feedback to have better customer interactions, you could say, do not antagonize your customers. He's going through a rough patch. A rough patch is a hard time, a time in your life where things just don't seem to be working out. So if you want an alternative to saying, he's having a hard time, he's not doing great, you could say, he's going through a rough patch. The next sentence is, some of these documents will probably never see the light of day. The key phrase in this sentence is never see the light of day. Never see the light of day means no one's ever going to look at them. No one's ever going to pull them out. This sentence has a couple different connotations. Some of these documents will probably never see the light of day. The documents might never see the light of day because someone's protecting them and making sure that they stay hidden from people who might want to find out very secret information. Or maybe the documents are really boring and so no one would ever care, and so they'll never see the light of day. The next sentence is, you may be too close to all this to have perspective. When you're really caught up in something and you know it so well and you're looking at it so closely, sometimes you lose sight of the bigger picture, or you can't see what somebody else coming in and looking at the situation might be able to see. So that is when you are too close to something. You're too caught up in it, so you don't have perspective. You can't see the bigger picture. You can't see what an outsider might be able to see looking in. They do random checks to keep workers on their toes. The key phrase in this sentence is keep them on their toes. Keeping someone on their toes means keeping them paying attention and doing everything carefully so that they don't make mistakes. In this sentence, the bosses come in and check on their workers to make sure that they're not getting lazy and that they're really working hard to keep them on their toes. Thanks for checking us out over at TVnglish YouTube channel. Come on back because we're going to have lots of more cool phrases for you to check out and learn.